if we take the time to really enjoy where we are, what we're doing, we'll have the desire to be better. Your happiness is not determined by the people around you, but by the person inside of you. Make the choice today to thrive in your singleness and not just survive. Hey y'all, it's your girl Kristen Joy, and we're back. Like, I don't even know. I don't have words because literally it's been so long, but the break was so necessary because I was able to really figure out what is it that I want to convey in Party of One and how does that look. And so we've added so much new things, and I'm just really excited for you guys to just engage and just be interactive and all that fun stuff. But first, we got to check on y'all. Like, how are y'all doing? Are you eating right? Are we drinking our water, working out, following our budget, getting our mind right? Like, how are we doing? Y'all know I have to ask because that's just what we do. That's our relationship. If you're new here, welcome. My name is KristinJoy, and this is the Party of One podcast where we are building a better us and just becoming that one individual that we need to be. And it's the singles edition. So we are focusing on changing the narrative of singleness, that it doesn't have to be that your life doesn't start until you're married and you have a family and children, things of that nature, but it can start as a single individual. And so I'm super excited to get into that. In regards to me, where I've been, have I been eating right, working out, drinking my water? I got my water right here though. I do drink it sometimes. All in all, I've been really good though. I've been really, really good. You know, we've been out here living in this panorama. So that's just a very interesting time. But everything's been great. I've been at the gym. I got a trainer. I listen to him sometimes. And sometimes I don't. You know, I do what I need to do. Or want to do, should I say. But everything's been great. So, like I said, many things have changed since we last met. But one thing that is still remaining the same is your girl still single, okay? And in that, I had to really learn how to enjoy and celebrate my singleness. And that's what this week's topic is going to be on. So without further ado, let's get into what's on the menu. What's on the menu is the time in our episode where we get to the nitty gritty. We will be focusing on what specific topic it is we are discussing for the day. All right. So many times when we hear singleness, a lot of times people always ask us oh, when are you going to be in a relationship, or are you dating anyone? You know, your clock is ticking. They don't know, it's not our clock. We're aware of the time, we're aware of the age because it's the life that we're living. So we kind of know. But I wanted to really just focus on just us being content and celebrating our singleness, enjoying this time, because the reality is when you get in a relationship, when you get married, when you have the kids, your life is never going to be just you ever again. And how amazing is that to really just take time to be selfish and focus on you. When we think of someone who is selfish, we often think of a negative connotation. And it often is that person doesn't care about other people. That person is insensitive and things of that nature. But sometimes being selfish has positives to it, right? Being selfish in the sense that we're not going to lose our empathy for another individual. We're not going to now be rude and insensitive to those individuals, but we are going to take a look in the mirror and make that person first in our decisions, because that's what's most important. Is how can we be any form of beneficial to anyone if we're not being beneficial to ourselves? It's not really gonna equate, because whatever we give is what we have, right? And what's in us. And I heard Oprah say, she was telling, I believe she was like talking on her show or something. I don't know. We'll call her, find out when she said it and what made her say it. But what she said was that we should be serving others from our saucer. And what she meant by that is you have a glass and you have a saucer. And so you would fill the glass up, which is you. And as that glass begins to overflow, it now has the excess on the saucer. And so whatever you are serving from should come from that saucer. So your overflow should be where you're serving from. So if we take that same philosophy, how are we going to be good partners, good wives, good husbands, good mothers, or good fathers if we aren't a good person to ourselves? If we are only filling ourselves halfway up, then who is getting the overflow of what we really have, right? So that's just something that I've been really focusing on. And so I got the definitions because I love definitions. So I got the definition of content, and that means in a state of peaceful happiness. And to celebrate means honor or praise publicly. And so like I was saying earlier, a lot of times when we think of singleness, we just be like, oh yeah, I'm single. Or some people may go through a spurt like, oh yeah, I'm single, I'm loving life, I hate dating, right? And so we have like those waves, and it's almost kind of like singleness is not the end thing. Like I'm still single, or I want to be in a relationship, or I want to be married, have the kids, things of that nature, which is all great. Don't get me wrong. It's nothing wrong with having those desires, but I do think it's not good for us to just want to bypass such a significant part of our lives and not take advantage of that time. When we think about like living in our panorama, we think about that was 2 years of our lives that we had the opportunity to make a difference or learn something new and save money and just a lot of different things that we had the opportunity to do. But how much of the opportunity did you really take? Did you take that time and take that second to take a step back, breathe, reflect on what it is that you wanted to do, and then move forward and launch that? Or did we just kind of just go with the motions and not really do much with that time and really celebrate it, honor it? So in celebrating our singleness and being content in our singleness, for me, that really just looks like us being bold and us being proud about who we are and the season that we're in life. Because I can tell you right now, some people want to be in this season with us, but they can't be. So we should just really take advantage of the season that we're in. So I personally really just enjoy singleness. I really do. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, when the season is over, I'll be grateful too. But for the time being, I do enjoy it. I enjoy just trying out new things because I have the time and the flexibility to really make my purpose, make my ambitions, make my interests, my hobbies, my first priority. And so in doing that, I just really enjoy like just being out here, being myself, and really learning to love me. And being in a relationship with me, I think, is the most important thing that so far that I've learned on this journey, is to really just date you. Figure out who you are. What's your love language? How do you receive love? How do you give love? What things trigger you? What things make you happy and bring you joy? And what things do you really want to see yourself accomplish? Spending that time of just pouring into your glass so that you're able to overflow and serve from your saucer. So that's what Party of One Singles Edition is all about. It's about being bold as a single, being out there, celebrating, being content, being exclusive, knowing that, baby, it's only one you. It's only one you, and I have to love me and date me. I'm dating the best person on this planet right now, okay?
And that song, who? That song, Mary Had a Little Lamb.
That's how you have to address where you are. And then lastly, just being enough. Understanding that who you are and what you bring to the table is more than enough. So I'm super excited. I really feel like the topics that we have this season is really going to be conversations that are just real, and raw, and it's not going to be a little fluff like life's great. Everyone loves everyone, and singleness, you'll get out of it when it's time for you to get out of it. Like, we've all heard the same song and dance, but I really want this to be practical. I really want us to have those conversations about, 90% of the time I enjoy singleness, but there's 10% that I absolutely don't like it here. I want to go. It's the ghetto. I don't want to come back.
Ooh! Ah, the ghetto.
And that is fair. We're human. That's fair to have. But I really feel like we needed to have a forum where we can have those conversations. So I just encourage you to, if you have questions, if you have comments, if you want to start a conversation, you know how to do that. Just leave comments below, DM me on Instagram, whatever it takes to get the conversation had. Table Talk is a segment in our episode where we will discuss a hot topic about singles. So that could range from frustrations to myths, misconceptions, and much more. So with that being said, let's get into it. So for today's Table Talk, I wanted to bring some statistics that I found when doing research that I found to be very interesting, actually. So here we go. So one of the statistics said that 64% of 20-somethings are single, never married, and not living with a significant other. 50% of people in the U.S. are single and unmarried, which is over 126 million people. That's a lot of people, and we all out here single. Just saying. And then it also says that 51% of people will marry and 50% of marriages end in divorce. So the last quote that I found when researching, it said married people do much better than unmarried or divorced individuals. They live longer, happier, healthier, sexier, and more affluent lives. Now, I don't disagree, right? I don't disagree that in a marriage you can be happier, healthier, sexier, more affluent lives and live longer. But I do find it very interesting that we have 50% of marriages ending in divorce, and yet we can also say in the same breath that married people live longer, happier, healthier, sexier, affluent lives. So, okay. But for me, my takeaway from that is, could it be true? Absolutely. It could absolutely be true. But could it also be true that we spend so much time trying to reach this pinnacle that society has set for us that we don't really take the time to become healthier, become happier, more affluent, and live longer in our singleness? Maybe, just maybe. And also, if we think about it, there's also times where we spend most of our lives in singleness. And then even those 51% of people who get married, 50% of them end in divorce. So they're back at singleness as well. And so I just really find it not coincidental how important it is that as an individual, we have to make sure we're where we need to be, right? So in singleness, society can say all the things that they want to say, but I really just think, like, if we really took the time to not only address our mental, physical, spiritual health, but we also took the time to address our relational health, not just with others, not just in a romantic relationship, but also platonic relationships and our relationships with ourselves, I really feel like we would be able to not only lower the divorce statistic, but also increase a healthier single statistic, and in the long run, increase healthier marriages, healthier parents, and healthier families. So that's just my take, but you can do with it what you may. I really encourage you to, again, start this conversation. Talk to other singles that you may know. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you feel like you believe, like, yes, I believe to live longer, to be happier, healthier, sexier, more affluent lives, you should be married? Or do you feel that that's completely false? Like, let me know. Let's talk about it, because this is what's in our society. Like, this is what society is telling us is acceptable, is the norm, is the average over the entire United States. Like, that's pretty significant. So I'd love to see what's out there so we can know what our fight will be in order to really accomplish what it is that we want to accomplish as a single, which is living longer, living happier, healthier, sexier, more affluent lives as an individual. Because listen, if we live in that as a single, when we get to marriage, family, parents, things of that nature, we gonna be I'm gonna be affluent, okay?
What a money reside, what a money reside, what a money reside, what a money reside.
we gonna be ready. I don't know why I be playing so much, but I'm dead serious. Like, if we just really take the time and enjoy this time, and the reason I always say, like, enjoy your singleness is because I really find it so imperative that if we take the time to really enjoy where we are, what we're doing, we'll have the desire to be better. And so I just believe if we're happier people, if we're happier in the season that we're currently in, it'll really drive us to want to be better and do better and get us to whatever our next season looks like. So I encourage you, for you personally, to just live longer, live happier, live healthier lives as a single individual. You got this. Sweet treat is the icing on the cake. This is the time in our episode where I get the privilege to share with you a small piece of advice, or maybe a word that it is that I received from God that I really felt would be great to share with you. So let's go ahead and get into it. So today's sweet treat is thrive, not survive. Thrive, not survive. And in both of these words, we have to work. Can't get around it. If you're going to thrive, there's a level of work you have to put in. And if you're going to survive, there's a level of work and determination you have to have as well. So, definitions, here we go. Thrive is to grow or develop well, vigorously, prosper, flourish. Survive is to continue to live or exist in spite of. And like, when I just read those definitions, I'm like, surviving sounds like a struggle. Like, it literally says to continue to live or exist in spite of. It just sounds like we out here I'm working. That's literally what it sounds like, and I don't want that to be us. Like, I don't want you to be the one that's out here just surviving through life, dragging along, just trying to make it day to day. But I really want you to be the one that's out there thriving, the one that is prospering, is flourishing, is pouring into other people, filling yourself up, and just really thriving in whatever season you're in, and just you as an individual. So all I can say is, this week, focus on how can I thrive in this situation instead of survive in this situation. Everyone's will look different. Everyone's season is going to be different. And wherever that just pricked your heart and cause you to think, like, am I surviving in this? I really encourage you to just spend the week focusing on thriving over surviving in that season. This episode was made in memory of my grandmother, Margaretta Reed Bradley. I just want to say I love you, and thank you for just showing me what a strong single woman looks like and how to really thrive in that season and not just survive. So I love you so much, and happy birthday. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Now is my favorite part where you have the opportunity to add value to this discussion. In the comments, let me know what stood out to you or what you would like to expand on. I personally look forward to joining in on that conversation. As always, you can follow me on IG at iamKristinJoy_ to learn a little bit more about your girl. So until next time, remind yourself, I am bold, I am exclusive, and baby, I am enough. Bye, y'all.